these free classes and call it community university. And he used to say, right, why are we like we are? Why is history demanding too much of us? That was his famous say. Why are black folks like we are? Is history demanding? And I used to tell him, and I'm going back to that now because I've gotten too far from it. It's very simple. We are in a race war. And we're the only ones who don't know it. Not only
every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women and the children too.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to CRWS R.I.P.S, Racism in Plain Sight, a broadcast intended to show you the system of racism, white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, and the effort to motivate you to produce a system of justice by guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated, and those who need help receive constructive help. The images that we will be observing and analyzing should motivate anyone to want to solve this atrocious problem known as racism, white supremacy.
When I got molested by a guy with Down syndrome.
Don't laugh, Brandon.
I'm not laughing.
Why'd you laugh?
It's just
That's fucking rude.
It's such a curveball.
I know. Can I just say something? I'm going to say it again, and if you smile, I'm going to leave.
Okay. But
No,
hold
be
on.
real. If you smile,
All right, hold on.
That really fucking broke me.
No.
All right, hold on.
All right, so
Give me a
I swear to
second.
fucking God, dude.
I know.
Give me
I
a
will
second.
leave, Chin Chin.
All right, hold on.
You can't make a joke and
That's right. That's his name.
All right, but
that's not his name.
Yeah.
What's your name again? Chin Chin.
All right, give me a second. Don't.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
All right.
I just wasn't ready for that.
I understand. I'm going to say it again, and if you smile, I'm going to leave.
Well, don't. All right, hold on.
We can't threaten a smile.
All right, just hold on. No, because then you're gonna laugh. Don't laugh. Seriously.
Don't laugh. Get serious. He's opening up here.
When I was, you ready? Don't cover your mouth though either.
Hey.
You can't cover your mouth. Because the thing is that I'm telling you something that's like I'm vulnerable about
I know,
it, and I'm
man.
expressing
I'm trying to
a
be
truth
cool.
to you.
Hey, dude. You
And-
gotta get serious.
And if you cover your mouth, I just feel like you're laughing.
Nope. Let's do it.
All right.
This is,
So when I was 9, I was brutally molested by a guy.
Tacky, trashy, and terroristic. I think this is what they be calling anti-Asian hate. Also a symptom of racism, white supremacy. But the system is so incorrect and so tacky that we have a victim of racism, the actor person who was trying to tell the story about how he was sexually abused when he was a younger person. He's trying to tell that story, and these two white guys are laughing, making it entertainment for them. And I suspect that's because in the system of white supremacy, our abuse, victims of racism, abuse, that's everybody not white. Our abuse is entertainment, It was very common earlier in internet culture to make rape jokes. And I think this may be a symptom of that, a symptom of the insane programming we all have been given by a racist man and racist woman and racist child. And by I say insane programming, it's just that we've been taught to accept and normalize really incorrect things that are happening on planet Earth, mainly sexual assault that happens every single time a person classified as white interacts with a non-white person sexually. That has also been normalized because in this system, white people have placed us in a childlike position at any time a adult, which are only white people on this planet, have sex with a non-white person. that is definitely rape. And one can find so much more about that by going to producejustice.com and acquiring your copy of the code book so we can solve this very, very abhorrent problem. Right now, the revised edition seems to be sold out, but the older version is available, it seems. And we also have a book study on this text that you can check out where we read it cover to cover and we promote the code and beg non-white people, hey, and white people to, hey, help us solve this race problem that is dominating planet Earth.
Yeah, being taught to think that things are funny, being taught to find things funny that aren't actually funny is one of the ways that racist man and racist woman practice racism, white supremacy.
We came
Can I be heard?
across white people.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add. Did you notice when the Asian gentleman said yes, and he looked over and said yes, Chin Chin, and they started laughing. They said Chin Chin. He's like, "What's so funny? That's his name." That's exactly. I'm glad you said that. We've been taught to see things funny when they're not funny. Even people saying people's names, but the ideas and with the language that white people use and the things that just saying somebody's simple name. But over here, the word chin supposed to be funny somehow versus just really someone's name. So I just found that really, really amazing that even the name is funny to these creatures.
That's an excellent catch observation, Mr. Yawo. Reminds me of just all the terrorization that goes on in education around names of victims. Very tragic. Should be motivation to solve this problem.
The first time we came across white people who treated us as equal beings. Russia is our friend. Our friend's enemy is our enemy. By default, we are on the side of Russia. And to us, Ukraine is what we call a sellout. It is selling out to the West.
So, in a system of white supremacy, people who have been classified as Black by people who classify themselves as white have no friends. We have no so-called nations. We don't. This concept known as Africa, this place is currently being dominated by racist man and racist woman. So this victim of racism seems to be confused about that fact, and that is very, very tragic, because in order to solve this problem, we must understand what is happening. Racist men and racist women have conquered and have been dominating everyone on the planet who is not white for quite a while now. So when we hear of places, we should understand that that place, the name of it doesn't matter as much as what's taking place there is that racist men and racist women are in control. If non-white people are there, best believe that it's not a constructive place, not the place it should be, because we haven't solved the race problem. The race problem, racism, which is also known as white supremacy. It's the source of all the just incorrectness on planet Earth, especially in the concept known as Africa, that area of the world where all those dark-skinned people just seem to be existing incorrectly in squalor, massive death taking place. And this victim thinks that white people are treating him equal. He said they're treating him equal. That's impossible. It is impossible for a person classified as white to treat a black person as a equal in a system of white supremacy. In all 9 areas of people activity, it is set up for us to never be equal. So that can never happen while we're in a system of white supremacy. We must guarantee that no one is allowed to be mistreated, and the people who need help receive that help. That is the only way that we can develop into people who are actually equal in relation to each other. But right now, there's no such thing as equal in this system.
This system being worldwide just really makes me think. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. I visited a space and there were some individuals in there classified as non-white, black, I believe. And as soon as you enter the room, it's like this entire. I understand about you know
War draws attention. There's only one war, the race war. Racism is war. White supremacy is war against non-white people. The people who are conducting this war, these people can only be white.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're a fucking wetback.
And you what? You are?
I'm an American, motherfucker. Hi.
Richard?
Yes, sir.
What's my name, Richard?
Sure.
Yeah. What's my name?
Edgar, I think.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for
But-
hearing me out.
No problem. By any chance, do you have a mask?
No, I don't.
Do you mind to put your shirt on top right here?
I
So
can.
that'll be really
Believe in that
appreciated.
crap?
I'm sorry?
You believe in that shit?
Yes, I do, because I have a family that is sick of that. Mm-hmm.
I don't believe our government. So.
Well, it's not the government. It's the people that is getting sick.
Okay. I'm sorry I don't have a mask.
Yeah.
I've never heard of someone ask me to wear a mask.
Well, it's because we're really close right here in the car,
You
and
should
then.
went left there.
Huh?
You want to get me home, you should have went left there. I don't know where you're going.
Oh, it's taking me to the freeway. You want to take that way, or you gonna?
Well, if you want to drive around with me all night long without a mask, that's fine. If you want to get me home quick, you go that way.
That's fine.
Up to you. I don't like you.
You don't like me? You want to
No.
get out?
No, I want you to take my ass home and I'll give you a shitty review.
You know what? You can get out right now.
I'm not getting out right now.
Yes.
Nope, I've got a contract with you and I've got a ride with
Nope.
you. I've got a contract with you and I have a ride with you.
Nope. The contract
Yep.
ends right now.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, he does.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can.
You try. Go ahead.
Nope.
The contract does not end.
Yes.
I told you I didn't like your standards. I'm entitled to free speech.
Yes,
You
sir.
cannot
I'm
contract. You cannot cancel the contract for that.
not- Yes, I do.
No.
It's my car, and you can get out right now.
Nope. It's not your car. It's Lyft.
Nope, it's
You
my
represent,
car.
you represent Lyft.
Well, then should Lyft.
And your little candy-ass faggy white glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking crush your fucking skull right now.
You're on video.
I'm not gonna do that because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you're on video right now.
I'm not an idiot. Just take me home.
No.
And I won't give you a review. Just take me home.
Nope. Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
cancel this ride. Then I want to see you cancel the ride, so I ain't gotta pay $5. You cancel it.
There.
Go again, so it's a little slower, sir.
There.
I don't see that.
It's canceled.
Let me
There.
see it show up on my phone. And then
I don't know.
I'll get out, okay?
I don't know.
You don't know much, do you?
I finished the trip already. Get out of my car. Please.
Out of your car?
Yes.
Yeah, how about a please, boy? It doesn't show it canceled here.
No, I didn't cancel. I finished the trip.
I live 4 miles that way. You didn't finish the trip.
I did. It's
Okay,
different.
so I'll just have to call Lyft and then complain about it.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's what I'll do then.
Go ahead. I have video.
Yeah, you got video.
Yeah.
You got video?
Yeah.
Hey, you got video?
Yeah.
Hey, you ever take English class? You got video? You got video?
You speak English, but you don't. I'm from here.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're a fucking wetback.
And you are?
I'm an American, motherfucker. I fought for
I'm
the
an
country for 3 times.
I'm an American too.
3 times in the goddamn war.
I'm an American too.
No, I don't. But you don't speak English.
Yes, I do speak English.
Okay,
I speak
well,
Spanish.
Okay, let's get out and call Lyft. You're not
Yeah,
worth
go
my
ahead.
time.
Yeah, I got video, and I'm gonna present it. I'm gonna press charges on you right now.
And I'll know who you are.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Dang, that was a very interesting and terroristic observation and experience for that victim of racism, I'm sure. But he definitely maintained. The first thing I noticed about this Yurugu, this white supremacist, and I'm gonna use the term white supremacism for him because I think he used enough racist language, and we can observe him directly mistreating a non-white person, and that that's what the system's all about. So I'm gonna call him a racist or a white supremacist or Yurugu. So this white supremacist, he kept mentioning his the contract, and what I learned from Yurugu is that the way that that white people, or some people call them Europeans, have trained themselves to think is that, hey, in order for us to have any sort of not killing each other, we need laws, we need rules, we have to create all this doctrine, these contracts, these policies. That's the only way we're going to be able to contain ourselves, and so he thought here that abstract contract is going to help him here, because that is how the system works. They use policy, words, a whole bunch of stuff to help maintain the system. But the victim was not allowing it. He was not going to allow the mistreatment to continue, despite the Yurugu efforts to use doctrine and abstract nonsense against him. I noticed he called him a candy ass, in the minds of the white supremacists. Non-white people are sweet, delectable things who are worthy of consumption and definitely harm, because I got what I observed is just a lot of aggression. He threatened him, hey, I should pound your skull, and something of that nature. He said, I should pound your skull, and something like that. I was like, very barbaric for someone to want to do that to another person. But some say we're not dealing with people, we're dealing with racists or white supremacists. So that's what that kind of aggression looks like. And he called him boy. That is a very fascinating word in the system of white supremacy. It's being refined, has been refined a number of ways, but the average white person knows what boy means. And just a lot of mistreatment, a lot of not stereotypical, because when we see what's happening, we don't understand. So I won't call it stereotypical, but a lot of racist language use and mistreatment. I'm going to pause and let folks chime in. Silence is also a response.
Yeah, I noticed how he said, take me home and I won't kill you or anything. Yeah, everyone else catch that? Take me home or I won't take me home and I won't kill you or anything. Wow. That's what you call a threat, right? That's what you call a threat. And yeah, I also noticed the boy thing as well. You know, and I guess testament to what Needy Fuller Jr. says in the code book, that they don't think of us as men and women. They don't allow us most of the time to function as men and women in a system of racism, white supremacy. Men and women are not subject to other men and women, right? So by that very definition, yes, we can become adults, but the actual title of men and women, you know, I don't know if you can actually function as men and women. So, you know, I do still call myself a man, but I do understand that I'm not being allowed to actually function as fully as a man under this system of racism, white supremacy. So when he called him boy, he basically was just calling him victim of racism, white supremacy.
Precisely. Yeah, I didn't catch that part, but I did catch the threat to write a negative review, which is another racist tactic that has been developed in the digital age.
One last thing here, I may as well just read this part here on page 218 of the word guide in the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept by Neely Fuller Jr., which you can get by going to producejustice.com. Neely Fuller Jr. says, man's shadow or shadow of a man. Use these terms to apply to any black and or non-white male person who exists any place in the known universe at the same time that white supremacy, racism exists. The reason, as long as white supremacy, racism exists, no non-white person is or can be a quote unquote man. As long as white supremacy, racism exists, every non-white person is subject to the power of those white people who participate in the practice of racism, white supremacy. Therefore, as long as white supremacy exists, every black male person is required to function as a boy. A boy is subject to and or is dependent upon a man.
Thank you for reading that, Mr. Smoking Damages. Must be honest with our position on this planet.
Your mic's low again.
कभी देख I'm a black no swag baby आके कभी देख I'm a black nigger I'm a black nigger.
Mr. Damages, you want to go first?
No, 05. I have to watch these like this.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a victim of racism, maybe being honest with himself. I don't think he understands that nigger just means not white, victim of racism. But worldwide, non-white people have been just trained, mentally programmed to just most of the things we do with our time and energy is going to be probably non-constructive if we do not understand the kind of planet we were born on, and it's going to be pitiful if we actually take a look at what's happening. As we see here, this is a pitiful clip, embarrassing. It should not exist. We should not be able to find this clip on the internet, but due to us living in the most abhorrent thing ever produced in the history of producing anything, the system of white supremacy, and these images are very common to find non-white people who have been conquered worldwide by people who call themselves white, racist men and racist women. We have been conquered by these people, and they have just sabotaged our existence, and it shows everywhere. But I'm gonna skip this one because I don't. Let's skip this one too. Yeah, this is supposed to pair with the last one, but so it's gonna let us see the video. Okay.
I need some advice, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm dead serious with this, okay? We went to Mexico for a week. Since we came back from Mexico, my armpits smell like a Mexican. Every time I sweat, it is dirty Mexican coming out from my every orifice. I am not shitting y'all. I am dead serious. I have changed deodorants. I have tried everything. It smells like tacos under my arms, like I'm a walking enchilada, and I need to know if there's anything that I can do to help figure out this problem, because I smell like it right now, a dirty Mexican. Like, I smell like I worked a 12-hour shift at the Don Juan's and came on down here to try on some clothes. So if y'all got any solution, all y'all old Silver Vallians, if y'all got anything, Donna Manus, I'm talking to you. If you got anything that you think will work, like I'm scrubbing, I done changed deodorant, I don't know, I've sprayed, I've done everything. Dirty Mexican. Okay, number 6, here we go. Number 6, I have this at home.
I think you get it. But yeah, white women do it best. This is, I don't know what a dirty Mexican even is, or what it could smell like, but it seems very incorrect. It seems like she's maybe mistreating non-white people here. She may be practicing racism right here. And it would be really fascinating if everyone who just watched the clip, who was exposed to this information, knew what they were witnessing. They may call her a Karen, but how many people are going to call her a racist? How many people are going to be like, I don't think this sort of language should be, used to mistreat people. Maybe we should produce some justice where this stuff doesn't happen anymore. Because there are definitely ways if this white woman is having issues with her odor, she does not need it to blame it on non-white people. She may just be practicing, poor hygiene, which is something we're gonna get into on this broadcast. I have a number of clips displaying that aspect of sometimes what it means to be white. But she may be having poor hygiene and she's blaming it on non-white people. That's why I suspect it's going on. Or she's just having fun practicing racism and just really just casual with it, just dirty Mexican. That's like saying the N-word almost. But system of white supremacy, everyone not white is getting kicked around. Everyone not white should be motivated to solve this problem. But it seems that I'll just pause there.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree. There's a 05. The proper title, the most accurate title for that female in that video is white supremacist or suspected white supremacist, not Karen. Karen doesn't describe her behavior or her language in that video, but I think white supremacist or suspected white supremacist does. Yeah, once again, just displaying everything that is not white is bad, everything that is white is good. So even if you do something, even if you smell, I don't know what they call it, malodorous or whatever, then you have to blame that. You have to associate it with someone or something that is not white. Yeah, just having fun in the system of racism, white supremacy. Just she's recorded that as well, so that other white people will view that and thus she will further the practice, further the system, expand the system of racism, white supremacy by encouraging other white people to carry on the practice.
Indeed. So we have here a just highly just tacky, terroristic observation we can see here. I guess the black child is supposed to be Apu from, I don't even know how to remember that name of that character from the Aladdin. But yeah, and the system of white supremacy, non-white people have been trained, white people have trained each other, themselves, to view non-white people like that, of some sort of animal, foreign creature worthy of study, of capture, you know, of making the pet. So this is what we're seeing here. Yeah, and yeah, and I only commented on it because it popped up on the screen. If I had seen it earlier, I wouldn't have added it until later. But let's talk about let's try.
Wow.
Sorry,
05. Isn't that the I remember in the what do you call it? Is it Indiana Jones film series where they had the monkey wearing a fez and stuff like that? They have it in various different films. White supremacists do. They had like those tiny monkeys. So basically, they're really just trying to portray a monkey, but they're just trying to say, so you're trying to depict us as monkeys, like they usually like to depict us as monkeys. So yeah, a joke enjoyed by white supremacists worldwide.
Exactly.
Just same old monkey chants, monkey slogans, monkey. It's not jokes. Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, cliche at this point. But we gotta understand what we are looking at. And greetings to the audience, to the chat. Miss What's the Code, Christine Williams, Brandon Williams, and Mr. Ray Monsoon, Tosan Soma, Decoding Events, and Ronald is back. Greetings. So continuing. Let's I hope this is in.
Okay, so I'm freshly showered as of 3 days ago, and I'm
sorry, what?
I'm freshly showered as of 3 days ago, and I
freshly showered as of 3 days ago? I don't think fresh go 3 days. If you had a shower this morning.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna play a number of the ones the same, so we can just talk about. Oh, this is Ellen. Nah, we can't even play this because I was just gonna get hit with that white hammer. So just Miley Kunis, I suspect to be a white woman, talking about how she's just practicing poor hygiene as well. So it's just Ellen DeGeneres, very powerful white woman. She's not even gonna touch that one. We'll play this one though.
My whole husband. No. I mean, like, does he mind it enough to get the government involved?
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And for any copyright matters, please contact us at our email in the description box down below. A woman who showers once a week says her husband doesn't mind it, although her explanation isn't the most convincing. The TikToker who goes by the handle Raindrop went viral for revealing to the world that she only showers once a week, and the internet were quite simply flabbergasted. Well, the TikToker previously gave 4 reasons as to why she showers just once a week.
My whole husband. No. I mean, like, does he mind it enough to get the government involved to separate us? I hope not.
Good morning. Happy Monday. I shower once a week. You heard that right. Not just wash my hair once a week. I step into a bathing receptacle once a week. And I get the question, why? And I stick by my original answer to this comment of, I just don't like it. But I figured I could try to provide a little more insight into why I don't like it. Reason 1, the time commitment. From warming the water up, to getting into the shower, to doing all of the necessary shower things, to getting out of the shower, to drying off, to waiting for my hair to dry. Reason 2, wet hair. I hate the feeling of wet hair. And no, I can't use a hairdryer because I hate the sound of the hairdryer. Reason 3, skin issues. Since I started showering less, and keep in mind, I was never an everyday shower since like middle school maybe. Anyway, my eczema, my dry scalp, all my skin issues have gotten better. And reason 4, it's not wasteful, both with water and products.
It's like the longest 2-minute video ever. Wow. I think that was. Is there another one we have about that one? Oh, there's another poor hygiene one. We'll just play this one. We'll talk about all of them at once.
Boom. This is your captain speaking. Want to remind all passengers to keep your mask on your face and your panties on your body. Your panties are like
just a white woman cleaning her.
There's no soap here in the cabin. Also want to quickly ask that you do not dry your panties with the vents, as the air in the cabin is recycled. And
so despite their poor hygiene and like their tacky behaviors, they're still definitely in charge of myself, and I suspect non-white people. Despite only showering for once a week, people who classify as white may have poor hygiene, but they're still, in control of planet Earth. They'll dominate planet Earth, and they're trying to take it to outer space. So while it may be interesting and more motivation to, hey, I'm gonna stay away from these people classified as white unless they're gonna help me solve this race problem. I'm gonna stay away from them because some of them have poor hygiene and they have all this seemingly will to want to keep their system going and mistreat me. And a lot of them seem to be practice poor hygiene. So I'm gonna practice constructive distance because it's very gross what we're seeing here.
It just puts me in mind of when this whole the pandemic just started, when it actually started. What was it, a couple of years ago now? Wow, time's flown by. When it first started, the shortages, people were taking paper, toilet paper, they were taking hand sanitizer. They were buying a lot of that. But I remember on the news, and I can't remember the news clip. If I did, I'll just post it here. But I remember they were saying the one thing that they still had a lot of in the shops was actual hand wash and shower gel and soap. They had lots of that left. Had lots and lots of that left. But they just had, but they were just buying hand sanitizer. So they wanted to sanitize their hands, but they didn't actually want to wash their hands. They didn't want to have to wash their bodies. It's interesting. I just thought, okay.
Thank you for sharing that. Very interesting observation. Fascinating. Alrighty. Okay, I'll play this one because this one is very interesting, somewhat.
Whoa! Hey, Jesus, man. Bob, he says it's an indirect connection he is using to try and free Brittany Griner.
Roy Jones Jr. is passionate. See him here with Vladimir Putin. He's passionate about all his influence in Russia to bring Griner home. Boxing legend and Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. has used his fist all his life. But a few months ago, a friend called him to use his name and his influence to help WNBA basketball star Brittany Griner get out of prison in Russia.
You know what, Roy? If anybody, you may be able to help get Brittany Griner back, so I think you should try.
The Roy Jones Jr. sports affiliation with Russia began in 2015. Russian leader Vladimir Putin made him an honorary citizen. He became well known in Russia after that, with Russian television airing his fights. And then for years, traveling there to teach Russian youth his style of boxing.
But if my sports affiliation with that country can aid in helping get that athlete home, then I want to try to do that.
It was 2 months ago. Jones says he reached out to a friend in Miami who has Russian acquaintances who are connected politically.
So I told him, call them and see what could they do or what they're willing to do for us to get Griner back.
He said he got a call back from that friend in Miami.
They said they want to do a prisoner swap.
Jones says he called his personal attorney to contact the United States government and tell them that Russia was willing to do a prisoner swap. In the last few days, Jones said he got a call from a Biden administration official he asked us not to name.
So he called me a couple days ago and said that, told me to ask my people and my friend that I know to ask them would they still be willing to swap her in a prison swap.
Jones sent that message to Russia through his Miami friend. Now he's waiting to hear if talk can turn into international diplomacy. Jones says he took a shot to bring an athlete home.
My thing is just try to get her home. That's all I want to try to do.
Wow, what a story, right? Now, Jones says Russia wants an arms dealer released that's incarcerated here in the United States. Meanwhile, Brittany Griner's trial expected to begin on Friday. We're live in the studio this Tuesday night. John Rapolo.
Why don't you watch where you're going, eh? What was that? You heard what I said. What? You want to start some shit?
There's something that's playing that shouldn't be playing. Okay. So, yeah, my error. I didn't mean to say somewhat constructive. I think it's highly constructive efforts to see this black male attempt to help a black female out of greater confinement in a race camp that is very, very far away from where she is familiar with. So highly constructive. We also see racism, white supremacy in effect here. We see how it operates because Roy Jones at best seems to be the spokesperson for the white people who are actually going to be the ones making the decisions to release Brittany Griner out of greater confinement. We literally see the newscaster say that he's sending messages, he's sending messages to his people and vice versa. He's just delivering messages back and forth from Biden's people and to Putin's people, it seems, who I suspect are white, and then people at the end of the day who are gonna have the power to release Griner or to do the prisoner swap are white people. Still highly constructive to see a black male attempting to solve a problem, help a black female out.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, go ahead, Joey.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right, Mr. Yahoo.
I just want to say I find it very highly suspicious that this victim is the mouthpiece for a prison swap. He doesn't play basketball. He's a boxer. I just wonder what the relation is and why he was chosen as the
what's your language
for this. And I've never heard on live TV where it's a prison swap for an arms dealer. This seems like he's going to be set up for a fall by next year. That's just how I see the system works. Like, they're even blaming They're trying to send troops to Africa because they just won't pick a side. And they're showing Roy Jones Jr. with the number one hated man in the world right now, so to speak. Wow, very suspicious in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Yowie and 05. I think it could be an important visual for victims of racism, particularly Black people, to see a Black person attempting to help another Black person. But I also agree that it could help to confuse some non-white people into thinking that Black people are that powerful, that, you know, that a Black person, an athlete, could approach Vladimir Putin or people, white supremacists who classify themselves as Russian, and it can actually make, quote unquote, what we like to call all over the globe as power moves and secure the release of a Black victim from the clutches of white supremacist greater confinement, i.e. jail. So yeah, that could help to confuse non-white people into thinking that Black people are powerful and we can actually make that happen, when actually it's the white people that we have to beg in order to make that that some sort of reality. But yeah, the visual, like I said, just the visual aspect of it could be also important for people who are classified as Black to see a Black person helping another Black person. Because I know white supremacists don't like that. They'd rather see Black people fighting with each other, squabbling with each other, beating up each other, just having general conflict with each other.
Precisely. Oh, okay, let's just.
Here is your latest African news.
I think Yahoo just mentioned this.
Morocco. Activists say government used unjustified force against African refugees in Melilla. Morocco has said more than 27 migrants died and 76 injured on its side of the fence on June 25th while trying to cross the Moroccan-Spanish border in Melilla. Moroccan police brutally beat the group at the border, causing a panic that led to a deadly stampede. Melilla is a Spanish colony in North Africa bordering Morocco that refugees used to cross to Europe. Amina Abidar, a spokesperson for the Moroccan Association of Human Rights, AMDH, said the migrants had been mistreated by Moroccan security forces during the border rush. He described how migrants had been left trapped on the ground for hours without medical assistance. AMDH shared videos on social media that purportedly showed dozens of migrants, some bleeding and lying motionless on the ground, with Moroccan security forces standing over them while others kicked the injured. The rights group said the lack of action by security forces likely led to many more deaths. Abidar also stated that the final death toll was likely to be much higher and called on Moroccan authorities to hold an urgent and fair investigation into the incident. 5 other rights groups in Morocco and Spain backed up the call for a probe. The Spanish Commission for Refugees, CEAR, described what it said was the indiscriminate use of violence to manage migration and control borders. It said that the violence had stopped eligible asylum seekers from reaching Spanish soil.
The race war. So a bunch of people classified as Black. The area where they were dwelling seems to have been hit with greater misery, so they have to flee. And all of us have got the message a long time ago that, hey, where I am, very whack, sucks. You know, it's just, you know, all these, just, we don't have houses here or electricity. Got to go to the white people if I want those. That's where the comfort. So that's what we see happening worldwide. All non-white people. If the farther you are from white people, usually correlates with the least comfort that you have, and also you're also susceptible to greater destruction. Get killed, large numbers. That happens a lot in the area of the world known as Africa. Just large numbers of Black people are often just desecrated. I suspect it's because they're not close to that many white people, and also because they have so much darkness in their bodies, so much color in their skin. I should say. I don't know if my error. I shouldn't have said darkness in their body. But this is what terrorism looks like, and I'm just thinking from the perspective of racist men and racist women who are at these borders, lugging rocks at these victims of racism, these people who are clearly needing of help, these powerless, helpless people who are begging for help, just begging just for a place where it's just not so bad. But no, hey, we get hit with rocks, tear gas, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of these people were itching to just use their firearms against these victims of racism. But just going back to how the racists are experiencing the scenes, they cannot allow these dark people, these males especially, to enter their lands and possibly just cause havoc, is what they're thinking. Motivation to solve this race problem, hopefully.
So I decided to take her somewhere really special. So it's our 3-month anniversary, so I decided to take her somewhere really special. South of the border, South Carolina's most racist attraction. You want to ride the sombrero? Come on, I want to ride the sombrero. Come on, it's the 8th wonder of South Carolina. Happy 3 months. Say hola. So Megan's half Peruvian, so I figured bring her here to honor her heritage. Shake it. Come on, shake it. There's my little Peruvian. Hola. This is so romantic. Yeah. Say adios. Adios.
Just clowning white people take great pleasure in victimizing non-white people, and in this digital age, broadcasting, hey, look how I got this one, look how I'm raping this one, taking this victim of racism to what he calls a racist attraction. This is also how the race war is conducted, or white people convincing non-white people that they're romantic and that they're in some sort of romance, they're in some sort of relationship. That's not happening. You are being raped. White people cannot correctly be in any sort of sexual relationship with non-white people. Check out Pieces of a Puzzle by Renita Tate, or just go to producejustice.com to understand our dynamic as children in the system of white supremacy. We are not adults. We do not think or act or have the power to behave like adults. Only white people do. So when it comes to anything sexual with a white person and a non-white person, that white person knows that they are in a more powerful, dominant position, but they are still gonna molest and rape that victim, because that's white culture, I suspect. Pedophilia, mistreating children, abusing children, sexually abusing children. I suspect that's white culture, which is why they promote what they call interracial relationships. No such thing as a interracial relationship. What we're actually seeing is rape. You got to get real comfortable calling things what they are. It's not correct for a white person and a non-white person to be any sort of bedroom unless racism has been solved, and it clearly has not been. So non-white practice ultimate self-respect by not allowing yourself to be sexually sewered, molested, raped by white people.
Wow. Wow. Fun, glory, and material comfort. Mr. Fuller is completely correct. And this is just an example of a white person, someone who classifies himself as white, as just having fun practicing racism in this system, which he helps to practice and maintain and control. You know, the subtext of what he's saying there is, you can be in my presence if you agree to be dominated and mistreated by me. You know, the minute she decides that she doesn't like that treatment, I suspect that arrangement, that tragic arrangement there, that rape, what's happening there, will end. He's going to be like, no, I don't want you. I'm going to trade you in for another non-white person because I don't like that. You know, I like to be able to have fun dominating. And if you show me that you don't like that, I don't want to be in a so-called relationship with you, is what he would, I suspect, act like towards her. Yeah, he's just having fun.
Indeed, the greatest insult. Ray/01. Yep, that's a term from the word guide, Neely Fuller Jr.'s word guide. The greatest insult. That's when a racist man or racist woman or racist child sexually sewers a non-white person. Really incorrect. And what it does to the minds of victims, total travesty. All right. So we need to play. That's only a minute, so we'll play both of them and then we'll discuss.
Hey, how you doing, baby? You look mighty fine. I figured I might come your way and roll up on you with that golden ticket. Shawty, can I get your digits? Maybe we can kick it. Hey. Oh, babe, think I know what's next. Double tap and follow that. She hit me with that text. She wanna know me more than just a homie. I can see from those emojis wanna get old.
Actually, I'm not gonna play all of it because this music is very it may get us strikes, but only this part right here is only part that really is I need to have seen, speaks for itself. So play that one, and I'm gonna play this one, then we'll discuss.
When a cold chill begins to burn at your very soul, that's the sweet touch of love. Oh, when just a drop of a name begins to sting your very toe, that's the sweet touch of love. Oh, yes it is. Just the thought of not seeing you would blow my mind. Oh, that's the sweet touch of love. Oh, yes it is. I was about to give up, but you can't.
Alrighty, Dark Temptation, eh? So right here, Delectable Negro, we literally have a black male being cooked on the grill. It's really refined. It's really subtle, easily missable, but not if you understand what kind of system we're in and a long track record of white people actually consuming black people, Delectable Negro. Just speaks for itself, and while he is enjoying himself on a grill, come on, come on, it's a some sort of inside joke for the white people who are not confused about how this system functions and what has taken place in this system historically. And this commercial here, I think it shows the relationship that white people have with chocolate, and just how things that are dark are very attractive to them. You know, they call it dark temptation. And we have a white man who gets this Axe body spray, but it's presented to be like some sort of magic potion that allows him to, you know, finally have color, finally be black, you know. And they see black people sometimes as that's, you know, I'd have a white associate, and she said that the first time her mom saw a black person, her mom actually told me this. She said the first time she saw a black person, she said, "Mom, look at the chocolate man." So they already view black people as, like, you know, chocolate creatures of a sort sometimes. And this commercial is displaying that, and it's very also very sexual. And I think it shows, it displays why, you know, Valentine's Day we have white people giving their white lovers chocolate. So, hey, I'm sorry, don't have any color in my skin, but here's this, you know, this colored sweetness that you can consume and put in your body anyway. You know, very, very interesting, very telling if we are studying the system of white supremacy.
This commercial is just littered with incorrectness all the way around. I'll maybe just leave it as Francis Chris Welsing talked about, with the infatuation of us being seen as dark edible things as in chocolate, and then just the gluttony in the eyes of the white women on the screen when they saw this chocolate man and their need to ingest him. And it's just really telling about what really goes on in the mind of the Yoruba when it comes to how they view us. All the stereotypes we're given. I mean, just that scene right alone, like, yeah, just very incorrect. And the need ASAP, as soon as possible, to replace this system with justice, because it took money and resources to make this commercial, and that could have been spent somewhere else.
Money, resource, and research. Don't forget that part. They did research in order to do this. Advertisement is research. Something else I noticed about the one with the black male cooking like a Frank, the music, very catchy. I could see people, you know, walking down the street singing this, and knowing or getting familiar with that tone with the music, it'll attach to our memory, for lack of a better term. So yeah, extremely deceptive, extremely incorrect. Yeah, and yeah, that's all I had to say about that.
Wow, a black person being roasted on a grill and having fun whilst experiencing it. Also in the same advert, a black male hugged up with a white woman in the same advert. You know, and in the next advert, dark temptation. White people call us chocolate. Convince us to call ourselves chocolate. Ask ourselves, if you're a black person listening to this, why are you being associated with food? Why are you calling yourself caramel and chocolate and all that? Why are you being associated with food? Dark, obviously, from the white supremacist mindset, equals bad. When the whole universe is bad, so the whole universe is dark. Why is dark being associated with something that's bad? They call us dark-skinned. Dark in comparison to who? Why are we dark in comparison to who? What, in comparison to them? Okay, well, I don't know why that they have to be the standard. And then they also say dark humor, right? So everything that's dark, everything that's seen as bad is dark, but then dark is a temptation. So then we're dark-skinned people, and in order to be tempted by us, you know, it has to be a dark temptation. I mean, the whole thing is really, for want of a better word, is just the whole thing is screwed up. The whole thing is screwed up. These people are insane. And I mean that like, you know, psychosis, like an actual break from reality. These people are, I understand when some people say, you know, these people are crazy. I remember Dr. Africa talking about that. These people are crazy. Yeah.
Very well said. Mr. Smoky Damages. And yeah, the commercial also has a black male kissing up with a dog, you know, and being captured by multiple white women, it seems. But what the system's all about. Let's keep on keeping on.
Hi, I'm Kyle Rittenhouse. You might know me as the guy who was recently acquitted from all charges in the Kenosha self-defense case. From the very beginning, I did nothing wrong. But that didn't stop the media from smearing my name. It's time to fight back against the fake news machine. This is why I'm launching the Kyle Rittenhouse Fake News Turkey Shoot video game. The media is nothing but a bunch of turkeys with nothing better to do than push their lying agenda and destroy innocent people's lives. So go to RittenhouseGame.com and pre-order the game now and help me fund the lawsuits to stop these fake news turkeys.
It's the fake news turkey shoot. Got a laser gun going pew pew pew. Filing lawsuits, and we about to bankrupt the fake news. Go to Rittenhouse.
White power is really lame sometimes. Well, all the time. White power is lame. These people who are taking control of the planet, very lame creatures. And we must get them to help us produce a system of justice, or they have to kill all of us because they can't keep up this tackiness. But yes. And just using the the hip hop beats to push this propaganda from a Kyle Rittenhouse, who I suspect to be a white supremacist for sure. I can't confirm that, but I suspect he may be one due to him associating himself with people who call themselves white supremacists. Anywho, the Kyle Rittenhouse case was very fascinating when it was taking place because we got to see an example of what the code calls white sacrifice. I believe he killed 2 white people. 2 white people were sacrificed, and he didn't do any. He didn't go to greater confinement. The system is very comfortable with any number of white people being sacrificed if this system is allowed to continue. I suspect maybe an error. There may be possibly, if enough white people just started dying at the same rate that non-white people are killed by the system, maybe that may get white people to stop practicing racism and to help us produce justice. But that's just a theory. Anywho, tacky, white supremacists kill T people. Now he has a video game, and video games are hugely profitable, but racism is a business. It's also a war, also a system. It's just really a powerful force that we must focus on and counter 24/7. ProduceJustice.com.
Wow, that is a really interesting video. 05. That's a really, really interesting video. For anyone who's listening to this, and we're trying to work out what racism, white supremacy is, how racist man and how racist woman run the plantation, that the plantation being this entire planet, which they control. If we're trying to find out how the system works, and for anyone that says Kyle Rittenhouse or Dylan Roof, etc., are not powerful white supremacists, then I'd say pay attention to that video and try and think again about if Kyle Rittenhouse is not a powerful white supremacist. Ask ourselves these questions. How do we know which white supremacists are powerful or smart? How do we know? Doesn't power actually shift? Has Mr. Rittenhouse acquired more power since the actual day when he was running down the street firing his AR-15? Has that power shifted now? At that time, people were trying to say before that Kyle Rittenhouse is not a powerful white supremacist. I think this demonstrates that power shifts and white supremacists can easily become more powerful or less powerful. So, I think it's so worrying about that thing sometimes is a waste of time and energy. I'd say like I think it was 05 that was saying before, which I agree with, that every white person who is okay with this system of racism, white supremacy, plays their part in this system. Some are in the infantry, some are some are in the Air Force, some are the squadron leaders, some are the commanders, some are the generals, etc. But most of the time, we think we know who these people are and what position they hold in this system. But many times we don't know. We just think we know. But yeah, very, very interesting video. Kyle Rittenhouse is having fun now. He's having fun. Let a black person do what Kyle Rittenhouse had done, and then see if you could do that, get away with it, and then even make your own video game which shows you making fun and actually shoot 'em up game. That is, wow, that's system of racism, white supremacy in plain sight. That's amazing.
And if I might add, you can take a look at what he's holding in his hand. If I'm not mistaken, I've just seen where dozens of non-white people have been arrested for using little guns just like that and turning them into weapons when they freeze the pellets. So we're seeing the total domination here, where I can make it, sell it to you, you get in trouble for it, and I can come back and re-up on the money and come back twice as hard with it. Like, this is a game app that's in beta mode, and they're basically crowdfunding to launch it. So I personally, by VGQ, I say they're all in it together, because someone has to program it, they have to release it on the Play Store. They're all complicit, every single last one of them, even the children, because look at what we're looking at. They make him to look young, to start him off just like this. Looks kind of like the new cover of Call of Duty or something like that.
You know what, Mr. Uyawu? I completely agree. At 05, you picked the perfect clip to play at the beginning of this. Who should we suspect of being white supremacists? Every single one of them. The men, the women, the children. Perfect clip. I suggest everyone go back and watch that clip again, right? They're all in it together. The men, the women, and the children.
And I have heard, just to add one more thing, I have heard previously after the Buffalo shooting that what we're witnessing is, like you said, Smoke and Damages, is a change of power. And these acts are their initiation to go from the cub to the wolf, in my and others' opinion.
Fully agree, sir.
Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too.
Code. That is code right there. Alrighty, continuing. Where's the? Let's look at some real gang bangers. We're gonna watch a tiny bit of this because this is definitely
SBS advises that the following program contains content that may disturb some viewers.
The system is very disturbing, so you know that.
Make it fast. So far, Europe, 42 shootings per
traces. That's all the evidence. Could be shell casings, blood traces.
Last year, there were 342 shootings. Per head, that's more shootings than anywhere else in Europe. And this year is on par to be the deadliest one so far.
We know how to shoot. Make it fast. In the head. Boom.
Tonight, we investigate what's behind this gun crime epidemic and how it's fueling anti-immigrant sentiment.
Så hur ohämmad, ansvarslös massinvandring sliter isär och splittrar Sverige.
Summer's almost here in Sweden.
This, we know how to shoot. And you move once the pop.
How's it changed from your day when you grew up?
Nowadays, you give a gun to 13-year-old and does prison for children with maximum 3 years with killing.
We heard that more and more people are wearing bulletproof vests.
It doesn't help shit.
No?
Because we aim at the head. Why the fuck should you have a vest on? If you're ready to kill somebody, you're gonna shoot them in the chest. Make it fast. In the head. Boom.
Okay, so what we're witnessing here is the area of the world known as Sweden, where mostly white people are existing, living, lavishly, comfortably. A number of those white people have taken a liking to gang banging. They want to run around and kill each other, and we see this highly serious white killer, on the screen detailing, yeah, I know how to kill. I know how to kill people. It's easy. You just shoot them in the head. Duh. And but what's also telling is that the racist tactics they're developing, no, they've used them for a while, I suspect, but they're getting children to kill for them because they know, hey, if this child kills a person, he'll only get 3 years, and greater confinement. So really terroristic situations happening on planet Earth because white people are in control of these things, and they don't care much that this is happening, and they will allow it if it means that their business, their system of white supremacy is allowed to continue. But every non-white people who observe this stuff should be motivated to really be serious about ending the system. And I think it's very simple. It just takes enough non-white people thinking and speaking and acting against the system, and white people will have to make a decision either to help us to eliminate the system and produce justice by guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated and those who need help receive constructive help, or they can shoot all of us in the head. And I'm fine with either option. But this slow torture, this picking us off in these cruel ways every now and then, and having us exist in squalor as we currently do 2022 has to end. Any of the other hosts like to chime in before I continue?
Just really quickly, usually when they show gangs or talk of gangs, the white supremacists usually show black people. And I think this just proves it. People like Kyle Rittenhouse or that guy in the video, or just anyone else, your I don't know, your local physician, doctors, teachers, just people who are classified as white. They're the most powerful gangs on the planet. People classified as white who are united in their practice of dominating us. The most powerful gang on the planet. White people who practice racism, white supremacy, because they're united in their effort.
And to me, it just shows what they've taught us how to do. I mean, I know in the race camp that I live in that a lot of youths are sent, on these quote unquote missions because that's exactly what they know. They'll get less time. They might even have to go to juvie, won't even have to go to prison. But we can clearly see who we have learned this pattern of destruction from. And I agree with Smoking Damages. They always want to cover up the faces, like this character right here. You're halfway around the world. Who cares what you look like? But you have to be covered up because he's probably a dentist or a lawyer or a banker. It's all of them. They're everywhere. I believe they even say it. We're everywhere and nowhere. We're everyone but no one. They tell us all the time who they are.
Hiding in plain sight. And yeah, someone mentioned it in one of our chats, but the comments are turned off on this video. The comments are turned off. And we saw like a white person blaming all the gun stuff on immigration code for non-white people. But who makes guns? Who ships guns? Who has the ability to get guns across state lines, so-called state lines? White people. Brennan Tarrant got a freaking AR-15 across the world. He used it to slay a number of non-white people. I don't know how he did that. So because I'm not a white person, I don't have that sort of white power. So fascinating. And
I believe they make.
Go ahead, Mr. Evolutionist.
I believe they make some of the world's best rifles, sniper rifles in Sweden. They make weapons.
Interesting. And with the digital age, we have ghost guns, 3D printing now. So the gun ownership should be expected these days, especially if it's a white person. And non-white people need to copy that behavior. Hey, white people have guns, I'm gonna get me a couple too. May not help, but it's better than not having it, I would say. Dun dun dun.
I'm a really cool person. Really need some friends. I'm a really cool person. And I know I look weird and I act funny, but I promise I'm cool.
All right. Geez. White people.
I just pulled up, before you go to the next story, I just pulled up guns made in Sweden, and I was correct.
Okay.
They call their favorite Swedish weapon is the AK-5 that they make for their armed forces, but that's considered like their favorite weapon in Sweden. So they're pretending that racist hypocrisy that where's all this guns and violence? They make the guns, some of the most dangerous killing weapons, simply for killing.
But yeah, no other purpose than to destroy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this clip, it's just really reminds me of did this white person is suspected racist. She wants friends. The film Nightcrawler says a friend is a gift you give yourself. And white people have went across the planet conquering people, saying, hey, you're a person, yes. I know you think you are, but I own you now. Yeah, you're mine now. And your land, the stuff that you once thought you owned is mine now. So white people have have all the friends. So I don't know what she's talking. It's very easy for white people to make friends, to acquire friends. But she's saying that she knows she's ugly. I think she may be dealing with just what it means to be white syndromes. I don't know, but this stuff is some deadly programming, because this is on TikTok. It has so many hearts. So I know after she released this piece of racist propaganda, she got like stormed with, "Oh, you're not ugly. You're so pretty. I'll be your friend." I'm pretty sure a number of non-white people were in this group of people who is giving her attention now because, oh, she's crying. So sad. White girl crying. So sad. Nope. She may be practicing deception. I think she is practicing deception. And if she's not, it's not anyone's fault that you're white. So maybe you don't have to be upset about it. Just understand that you are from a group of people who call themselves white, and maybe y'all should stop doing that and help us solve the race problem. And that may solve all these problems. But yeah, as for getting pity and sympathy, that should not happen. And so there's no confusion. Non-white people are the only people on the planet who have no friends.
She called herself ugly, I believe, or words to that effect, and
Yep.
she's correct. She is ugly. And all white people who classify themselves as white by practicing and maintaining this system of racism, white supremacy, are by default ugly people. So she's right about herself.
Thank you, Mr. Smoking Damages. I agree entirely. Another ugly sight I can add to my list of ugly things is white people crying instead of eliminating racism. What are you crying for? I don't think you were just got shot 60 times. I don't think that happened to anyone of your liking. So what are you crying for? Eliminate racism or eliminate yourself if you're not gonna help to eliminate racism. My BGQ.
They deserve no sympathy or empathy.
Yeah, especially when they have a long track record of doing things like stuff right here.
Yeah, I have to save my tears. I have to save my tears for victims of racism, white supremacy. They don't deserve my sympathy whatsoever. You know, these people who are in control just find things to cry about. Find things to cry about. You look around the world and you see exactly what's happening, especially to non-white people, and by extension, especially Black people who are victims of this system. And they're worthy of my sympathy. Her talking about, "Oh God, I'm so ugly and I ain't got no friends." Boo hoo. That's what I say to that. I'm tired of being a victim of racism, white supremacy.
Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, so we have this white woman doing what it seems they take great pleasure in doing, molesting children. But I won't read it all. But yeah, she just caught having sex with a 14-year-old boy, and this was disgusting system. A lot of people would think that that's a good thing, you know. a lot of people may look at this creature, oh my bad, this white woman here, and they may think that she's attractive, and they may think a 14-year-old boy may be so called lucky. Nope. He got raped, and she's practicing racism, and she needs to get put in she needs the same R. Kelly treatment. Give her 30 years. Yeah. What I shall say. And she's also she works for horses. Does she work for horses? Horse heiress is saddled with, wow, these how they use their words. So interesting and incorrect. But yeah, she's molesting children, and she works with horses. Super sus. She's probably into probably doing some bestiality as well, you know, because that's what they're also starting to promote a lot. So just that, you know, I'm not gonna read it. Folks can pause it and view that. Oh, we won't be. I haven't seen that video. I haven't seen a number of these, and just to save time. And I don't even know if this one's even worth watching, but we'll check it out. It's only 1 minute. Well, no, to be super clear, none of the stuff we have been watching is worth watching. It's just we must, because hey, it's just white supremacy, and you know, who else is gonna see these clips to understand what they're observing? Few people, I suspect.
Like this one a little bit more.
I'm sure. Okay, that one hit right away.
Yeah, that one has a little bit of a kick.
You think so?
So, what inspired you to become more involved with charity?
Trump, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor.
Anything.
I'm gonna need you to shut the fuck up.
Got it. Alright, so this next sauce, the dragon's breath.
I'm out of beer. Girl with the beer, come here. Come here.
Has a Scoville rating of more than 155,000.
Thank you, I love you. Okay. Good. Keep talking, it's cool. I'm just gonna pour the milk right into it.
What the fuck?
Alright, so we're getting into serious territory.
Oh, God!
So it seems like your ex-husband has been supportive of your efforts.
And fuck that motherfucker!
So things are not great.
Good one, Sean. Would you go to fucking school? That asshole had cheated on me. I would be on your stupid ass show, getting my fucking face melted off, eating these little tiny spicy pieces of shit, with blowing my fucking shorts out on fucking national television.
It's a YouTube channel.
I don't give a fuck what the fuck it is.
They love when they love, enjoy when we act like them.
Me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Heard you loud and clear.
White people, they love and enjoy when we act like this, using profanity. And let's not forget, it's extremely dangerous to mix alcohol and white people, to be around those two things. And and the hotness, just torturing yourself, eating extra spicy food. It's almost like that commercial where the guy was cooking when he was a Frankfurter. It's almost like that, but now you're roasting from the inside. So it's still mistreatment, and a lot of hot wings or hot ones, they're most popular ones to me. The ones that I've seen, I haven't watched in a while, but the ones that I've seen, they were when it was non-white people on the show being mistreated, doing something similar to what Maya Rudolph, I think her name is Maya Rudolph, is experiencing. And she has a white father, a white parent, white father. And notice how she held on to the white lady, the white woman, who handed her the beer or whatever, and she called out to God. I'm assuming that the image that she probably had in her mind at that moment was a white person. Yeah, I can go on and on. I'm gonna end it right there.
So tragic, this clip. I never seen it before. Was not expecting it to get that tacky. But yeah, you're right. White people take great joy seeing us behave like them. And Brandon Williams asked, does she have a white actress? And you answered yes, she does have. I mean, does she have a white parent? Yes, she does have a white parent. And I noticed that she said I love you to the white woman. Yeah, that we're really confused about that word. Love does not exist. Love cannot exist in a system where people are allowed to just be treated in this manner. Just so with such, there's no love. Stop saying you love a person unless you have your own definition of that and you share that definition with that person. So when you guys are saying it to each other, you know what you're talking about. But as for throwing this love word around, that must stop. Love is justice, and justice is not here yet. The beer, just the consumption of beer. Beer tastes gross to me, at least. Tastes disgusting. I don't. When I see people drink it, it's like, how are you drinking it? So like it's like apple juice. It looks like apple juice, but it tastes disgusting. But how are you drinking it? So it's just see her drinks poison just so easily. To me, it's just that's how it is. That's what the system does. It trains us to be able to consume poison like it's healthy for us. I know she's consuming, and it's also symbolic of what's taking place. Because she's experiencing great discomfort from her being fed these wings, chemical sabotage in the form of food. She got fed these spicy wings, and now she's experiencing great comfort, and she's using this poison in the form of milk and alcohol to try to soothe herself from that discomfort. That's really symbolic of how the system has trained victims to operate. We understand that we're very miserable. We get mistreated so much. We have money problems, baby mama problems, baby daddy problems, rent problems, school problems, so many problems, all result of racism, white supremacy. But instead of like tackling and countering these problems constructively, a lot of the times, because we've been trained to do so, we distract ourselves with poison in the form of drugs, or maybe in the form of distractions in the form of entertainment, whatnot, anything that's gonna take us away from focusing on a problem of white people and the system of white supremacy. So that was interesting. See, who'd have thought?
You just said something that
go ahead.
Said something that was really interesting, and I'm like, oh wow. Brought it up but kind of forgot it. She's the product of a tragic arrangement. She mixed milk inside of a brown substance called beer to try to soothe herself from eating something that was extremely hot. Yes, it's something in there. That can't be ignored or just passed by.
Thank you. I agree, Ms. B.
It's funny, actually. No, go on, Mr. Yahoo.
I just want to say the racist Cold War word association of spicy being used with non-white people. That's always a catchphrase that you can predict what's going to happen.
So sometimes when we do our Twitter spaces, me and Miss Salt here, we do our Twitter spaces sometimes when I'm the host or she's the co-host or vice versa. And I remember about 2 weeks, what she usually says is there some non-white people that come into our spaces and they're using profanity? Usually they get muted straight away and we say no. And she says, no, we're not going to act like white people in here. Right? Now, some non-white people don't like when she says that. And some non-white people don't like that. Some non-white people don't like that, and some white people don't like that when she says we're not going to act like white people in here. But you know, most of the time that's true. Do we not have basic manners? Is this how we've just been so brain trashed that we do not understand how to communicate with each other in a more constructive way, in a non-confrontational way as well, and in a polite way? I was in the Twitter space probably about 2 weeks ago, and I put my hand up. The person invited me to speak, right? And other people were speaking before me. So I put my hand up just so that, you know, as an indication that I wanted to speak. And when I got there, and before I could say anything, the person just goes, "Oh, what are you putting your hand up for, man? You don't have to put your hand up in there. There's loads of people speaking." And because I don't have to put my hand up, right? So when I got on the mic, I goes, "Do you not like being around polite Black people?" And I also asked, "Are you used to being around impolite Black people? Would you like me to be impolite?" Right? We're so used to just using profanity and curse words, we just don't even understand how to talk to each other without using profanity around each other. You know, it's horrible. Twitter Spaces, other social media platforms, full of it. Just Black people communicating with each other. Well, you know, they say that the purpose of communication is to be understood, but you wouldn't know it because all we do is just curse all day, curse at each other, MF of this, MF of that, F you this, F you that, and etc. etc. It's a mess. It's a mess. So yeah, let's just not act like white people. Let's try and be a little more constructive in our communication with each other.
Yeah, that's codified speech right there. Let's not act like white people. That really gets the brain computer thinking. And to this clip, I neglected a lot of the things that this poor victim said. You know, she expressed a lot. I think because she maybe consumed so much alcohol so rapidly, she may have been a little inebriated, and she may have divulged a lot of you know, sensitive information, and she expressed a lot of like pain and misery. You know, she said she's like dealing with some sort of divorce, sort of split between her and an attempted mate, and she's having to, like, you know, come on to do this job, but she seems to believe to be demeaning, you know, so she's aware that, hey, this is a pitiful situation that I'm in, and she showed that, she expressed that, I believe. So very tragic. You know, if we're paying attention to what we're observing, this is totally tragic. And you know, just because she's a so-called celebrity, she's still a victim of racism in need of help, and the damage done to her mind, is very similar to the damage done to the mind of victims worldwide. Yeah, incorrect. Produce justice ASAP.
Unfortunately, 05, do you know that the way we're communicating here is torture? Unfortunately, for a lot of people who are classified as non-white, this is torture, right? They don't like us talking like this in a codified, calm, thoughtful way, but they just prefer us to just be cussing at each other all day long. Unfortunately, when we say stuff like that, when Helen B says stuff like that, for example, we're not going to behave like white people in this space. You know, a lot of non-white people leave. They can't stand communicating without cursing each other all day. It's incredible.
Very tragic. It's very tragic, and I see a lot of those Twitter spaces as nothing more than, you know, taking us back to the days where landlines were very popular, and a lot of Black people spent a lot of wasted a lot of time on the phone just talking nonsense to, you know, people that think are their friends and our family members, just blabbing. We just blab. A lot of Twitter spaces are just blabbing. There's no effort to produce awareness about the system of white supremacy, or, hey, let's solve this despicable problem. Oh, but Evidence. All that stuff is evidence that the racists have trained us well to behave like them.
I mean, what are you talking about? I can't demean and ridicule another black person here. Oh no. I can't take that. I'm going somewhere else. I'm gonna go and find some black people where it's okay to do that. Right? Because that's how I'm used to communicating, and I ain't having that. No. Being polite to another black person on this planet. No.
Yeah. And I see that as well. I would say courteous. Like your questions are really solid. I would just use the word courteous because I don't like using words anymore that have that light in it, especially if you're not dealing with light source, like a light source. It's, so, but constructive question. Are you not used to courteous black people, or black people attempting to be courteous to other black people?
Police shooting targets at the target range were only shooting targets of black men. Initially, the chief of police came out and said, well, no, actually, we shoot more white targets than black, according to my research that I cannot provide to you. But guess what? That chief has now apologized and said it was wrong. In an update to a story we reported on where Michigan police were using only black targets in a firing range. The head of the department is apologizing. Let's put up his picture. Here's the chief, all right? So after the department initially claimed that more white targets were used than black targets, Chief Jeff King now admits that indeed black targets were primarily used. He said, and I quote, well, I'll take this one on the chin. He said this at a public meeting. Then he goes on to say, I apologize to each and every person in this room, this community, my department, my city council, my city manager. I can't overlook this. Damn it, apologize to black people. He apologized to literally everybody but black people. Do you understand? This is routine. This is the apology, non-apology.
All right, I think we can take it from here. Terroristic and just clowning us. The chief apologizes to everybody but black people, and I don't care for apologies. An apology without compensation is worthless. So, unless every black person in that area and that race camp is going to get some sort of compensation along with the apologies, who cares? We should okay, they're using only black targets. All right. What does that do to their mind? I suspect it's gonna make them quicker to want to shoot black people, just following a little bit of simple logic. Black people in that area should be aware of that. They should counter that situation by practicing code. Don't fight, don't fuss, don't flee. And also don't pretend like you're not in a war, like race soldiers are not waging war against us. We all must be. We should treat any sort of counter racist material trying to show us or motivate us to solve this race problem. We should treat that as like some sort of I don't want to get religion or anything. I won't even say it, but we should really have we should really take counter racist logic seriously and attempt to practice it, because white people have their own code, and their code has shown me that they're very serious. They now, a lot of white people are so serious that they've said, you know what, I hate having to go to other white people to get my gun. I'm gonna make my own gun. And now we got white people printing their own guns in their dining rooms. White people are super serious, and they've been allowed and they've been able to do this with a code. Black people have no code. We don't ever attempt to practice a code, which is why it's so hard for us to be courteous to each other, to focus on white people, because we just out here just aimless. We must have a focus. Our focus should be white people and a counter racist code. because it's not coincidence that they're using black targets. I suspect most targets are black, have some sort of black silhouette, some sort of black outline, something black to shoot. Gotta shoot something black. So this is very common, nothing new.
And if I may, also this story was broken. I suspect it might be a non-white person that brought this up because it was a group of they weren't Boy Scouts, some type of children's group went to the firing range, and that's how they found out what targets they were using. So somebody divulged this information, or else it wouldn't even be out in the public. So this is how the training starts at a young age. Yeah, I've only ever shot black targets because it's always on white paper. So that right there tells you, bring black paper out with white targets, then yeah.
That is very, very interesting. When I look at that, when I look at that type of video, I was thinking, so you'd rather them not use black targets, right? Black people, sometimes some of us looking at that and we think, okay, we'd rather them not use black targets. If they don't use black figures as target practice, does that mean they are not going to harm black people on the street? They don't need so-called education and to take the black targets away. They were killing us before they were using black targets. They're killing us during using those black figures as targets, and they'll be killing us after they take the black targets away. You see, I was saying this earlier on Twitter Space to someone else. It's like we as non-white people, sometimes we want the white supremacists to lie to us and pretend they aren't gonna do to us what they are actually going to do. The targets don't make a damn bit of difference. I don't want an apology from them. I'm with 05 on this as well. I don't care a damn about no damn apology, because they're going to go onto the streets and harm black people. This is what happens in the system of racism and white supremacy. Whilst we have a system of racism and white supremacy, we're going to be harmed. There's no way around it. And if they don't use black targets, they're going to still target us anyway. They're going to kill us anyway. You take the targets away, use the black targets, use red targets, green targets, white targets. They don't care. When they get on the streets, the targets, which is the color of our skin, we ain't gonna be able to remove that target. This color target here, brown, black, whatever you call it, but someone who's classified as black in the system of racism and white supremacy, that's the target. And they know that. So when they're on the range practicing in front of whatever, they don't make a blind bit of difference for them. Just my VGQ.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I would say that it's on purpose. It isn't an accident. As in the records show through their manifests that, and they told the people like, oh yeah, we would just throw the white targets away. So we'd have to keep buying more packets of targets just to collect all the black ones. So it's intent. We're the invisible man, the black man in the basement making the perfect white paint. We're seen as invisible unless the only way they see us is as a target. And that's how I took this. We're only seen as the image on that white piece of paper. So even when I can't get to, if I can't get outside and shoot you, at least I can sit in the basement and shoot at a target that looks like it, to do what? Fulfill my need to consume you. More delectable nigger at the shooting range.
And from the chat, Sour Kiss says, shouldn't we expect this? And of course we should, if we are a little bit in the know about what the system is. How can we change this? Also from Sour Kiss, how do we not accept? The best thing we can do in regards to how do we not accept is to resist the system of white supremacy. How can we change it? We must eliminate the total system of white supremacy. This is not a patchwork job. We can't just tackle it here and there. It must start with eliminating the total system of white supremacy. That's my opinion. I'm not. I don't want to just tackle the race soldiers killing Black people in the streets. I want to tackle everything. The Black people facing famine, the Black people being disappeared, the Black people, just all the misery should be focused on. Where are we? All right, this should be. I'm we're not even gonna waste our time with this one. Just white people being this. All right, this one. This is one. Analyze. So pay attention to 8.9 million views. All right, and I just want to go back to that Hot Wings clip for a second. That clip was like 1 minute and 31 seconds, and I think we got a lot of constructive information from analyzing that clip, and I think that is the beauty and the awesomeness that comes from just understanding race and white supremacy and having done a little bit of reading, so we're able to decode and analyze the stuff we're seeing, because many look, few see what they're looking at, what's happening. There's a reason. I won't get into that, but we're just gonna play the clip.
What you rolling though?
What you rolling?
Well, I'm rolling that dead off pack.
Oh shit! Okay.
You rolling
Get us baked then. Get us baked.
You rolling dead niggas fast. Yeah.
That shit sticky, ain't it?
Yeah, that's all right.
Sticky,
I do need, yeah, but I do. I ain't gonna lie. I threw in some of mine. I still need. Dead people. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
13.
Fuck is you talking about, nigga?
Oh, bruh. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood to smoke a dead ass
Up
nigga.
that big bitch. Up that big bitch. My hands are full. Fuck that. Up that bitch. You telling me right now if a op came down the block right now? He's gone. Oh my dead niggas. Fuck is you talking about, niggas? Fuck is you talking about? She grabbed the wood with the other. What you rolling?
Brain trashed. And who's responsible for the condition of the minds of non-white people worldwide? People like her, people like this white woman here, powerful, smart, sophisticated, cunning, deceptive people known as white. They she just heard this Black male talk about killing Black people. She didn't raise her eyebrows. She didn't say, "Hey, sir, don't talk about killing people who's like you. That's silly. Don't talk about that." She seemingly doesn't care, and there's another non-white person who may not be Black, but I suspect he's also not white. And this white woman has to, the system has already trained them to enjoy these sort of activities, consumption of drugs, the promoting of Black suffering, i.e. smoking dead niggas, killing Black people. And we have this white woman rolling up a sort of probably a backwood, singing "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood." And and that may be just she's having fun here, because that shows whatever that she Reading Rainbow, whatever the hell it was, that show didn't really I didn't solve the race problem at all, and I don't think it taught us to be suspicious of white people either. So yeah, tacky, trashy, and terrorist, and she has a gun. So what happens if she smokes too much, have some sort of I don't know, ill effect from the blunt, and then she forgets there's a black person behind her, turns around, oh, I got scared. It's just a dangerous situation that these boys are in. But because they have no understanding of the planet they were born into, they think this is fun they think they're having fun. They are having fun if you understand the white code meaning of fun, FUN, fucked up nigger. That's what fun means to white people in relation to having it with black people. You got to be a effed up nigger to enjoy these sorts of things. Messed up how? Just being born into a system where every day you're lied to, abused, sometimes sexually abused. Every day, your whole existence. This is not constructive on any mind. So the minds of non-white people have been greatly, greatly sabotaged and harmed.
Extremely dangerous situation. She has that gun in her lap or very close by her. Like you said, she could be getting high and she's smoking weed. Next thing you know, she accidentally, so-called accidentally, could be done on purpose, right? Drops it or, drops the gun or whatever, and it goes off. Or she could, become paranoid behind there's something called a synthetic one called a K something. And so she could become extremely paranoid. Like such a dangerous situation. Please, I'm begging non-white people, especially with offspring, talk to your children about racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, so they don't end up in a situation like this. So they won't do non-constructive activities like this. Because what is this producing? What is this? That's just sad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I would just want to say the greatest teachers of gunslinging and killing black people is fun. The greatest teachers of this evil mentality are white people and people just like her. They have affected us with this way of existing that, hey, killing black people, fun, fine, and cool. It's a cool aesthetic now. Go ahead, Mr. Yawa.
This video here, it just shows me personally how slavery and bondage has never ended. Because to me, I feel like I'm just looking at it's just the 1800s. It's just Massa S on the porch, with the niggers rolling up some weed, and it's almost like plantation wars. So if next door plantation rolls up, we'll shoot them. But until then, we're just I can just sit back, and smoke some weed, with my little niggers, because they're my property. I actually, just as disturbing as it sounds, I think they're very safe right now because they're sitting with Big Mama. Like that image right there is the most powerful image on the planet as a white woman with a gun. She has two henchmen behind her who will do whatever she says. They're in a great position because they know their role. As disturbing as that sounds, but we're in the total system of this. This is what it is. That's what it used to be, and this is what it will continue to be until it's changed. They're having a good old time because they know they're with Big Mama.
Big Mama indeed. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Yahoo. I have to laugh to keep from crying. Mr. Damages, where are you gonna go ahead, sir?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's so many non-white people who think this is funny and don't appreciate the dangerousness of what they're looking at. They don't appreciate the dangerousness of that situation. Just, the white supremacists are responsible for this type of brain trashing. She's right in front of them, understands she has more power than them, understands that they could end up dead or in jail if law enforcement happen by, right? Got a gun in the car, they're doing drugs, etc., etc. I mean, white people enjoy being around black people who are engaged in nonsense and encouraging it too. They encourage us to do a whole lot of just non-constructive nonsense, non-constructive activity. I'm going to adopt that phrase right there that you said there, fun, meaning white supremacists enjoy being around fucked up niggers. That's completely right. It's completely accurate. She's encouraging this behavior when she knows that she could probably use her white power to remove herself from that situation. But those black people, they ain't gonna be able to use that. They're gonna probably be in grey confinement. So yeah, white people are to blame in this situation. I encourage non-white people who look at that video, understand what you're looking at. This is not fun. This is not something enjoyable. This is sinister. That's dangerous.
It's diabolical, in my opinion, because I just thought about it. So imagine, how things like you could stream nowadays. Imagine if she just turned around and shot them. It'll probably break the internet because it's already at, it's just insidious, and people look at it and they make jokes about it, and it's wow. The system is so powerful.
Yep, I completely agree. And there's other non-white people who, I mean, we spoke about this before on other social media outlets. There's other non-white people, there's other white supremacists who are around us, encouraging us to laugh at that spectacle. Like you said, it's diabolical, it's disgusting. That's really hard. That kind of activity should definitely not be encouraged at all by anybody.
Yep. This is what a master deceiver looks like. Anyone white, because anyone white is capable of such feats, leading non-white people to do dangerous things. Oh, I've been led to do some stupid stuff by racist men and racist women during my existence. Because there's a master deceivers, and these victims that she has in her presence are even greater dangers, I would say, because what happens if a race soldier pulls up? Oh, ma'am, are you all right? Have you been kidnapped by these two savages? Pop, pop, pop. Something like that could happen, because that is the kind of wacky terroristic system we are in. So dangerous for a lot of reasons. More dangerous because they are in a car with a person who, hey, people classified as white consider us their enemy. They are waging a war against us. And I don't use this language to sound deep or profound. It's the truth. They are waging a war against non-white people, and they are in a car with a person where they call us their enemy. You're in a car with someone you should at least be suspicious of, and people like her call you your enemy. A whole sophisticated system designed to mistreat and sabotage your thinking, your existence. But hey, roll up another one. Racists are to blame for sure.
Exactly. If those race soldiers happen by, the first thing she's gonna say is, "Oh, those black people made me do those drugs." I'm an elderly white woman. You think I'll be in here doing this? That's the first thing she's gonna do. She's gonna say that had nothing to do with me. They made me do that. Can't you see I'm being held hostage here? These non-white people, these black people, they're making me do this stuff. Smoking drugs in a car with niggas and with a gun. No. That's not something I, as a white woman, would do. No. These black people made me do this.
Yeah,
that's exactly what she gonna do.
Exactly. I would say though, with the previous videos with the chocolate and the consumption, look at what we're looking at too. She's rolling up a long brown thing, like the victim roasting on the hot dog spit. Look at what we're looking at here, especially with no volume. I always, when I want to decode something, I'll look at it with no volume. You'll get a totally different picture in your head, because those words, the music they use nowadays, so it's going to be some kind of trap beat, that hi-hat that causes seizures with that low impact. It's not even bass anymore. Yeah, look at what that is. Welching moment right there in the camera with the two victims in the back. She's got it all hooked up. People are probably having This is homoeroticism as well. Wealthy moment right here too.
Interesting indeed. Alrighty, folks. This while it looks like we have and we were going to be here for a while, I think this would be a fitting conclusion. I will now take a look at the chat, see if share some of the constructed information that was placed in the chat. Yeah, I wish I could read everything from the chat, but I certainly cannot. Oh, I do like what was shared here by Tosan Soma. To grow past being a forgiving slave and attempt to grow into a counter-racist scientist / soldier who strives for justice, the codified kind of justice. That is excellent, VGQ, excellent combination of words. And yeah, that is something I beg non-white people to do. We must develop into attempted counter-racist soldiers, scientists, slaves attempting to no longer be slaves anymore. Because the way I see it on planet Earth, we are slaves and we will continue to be slaves until the system has been eradicated and replaced with justice. Until that happens, we are slaves. At best, we can be slaves attempting to no longer be slaves. But racist men and racist women, they have trained us to be slaves, attempting to be better looking slaves, attempting to be slaves who have more things, attempting to be slaves who have a number of titles, but not attempting to no longer be slaves, no longer being dominated by racist men and racist women. That's what we should be attempting to do. And
completely agree, 05. Just before you play your other clip as well, I think you're going to play the last clip. You remember, I just piggybacking off that last video that we just saw. Remember when it was Mr. Fuller talking about when he was around some suspected white supremacists years ago, and they were talking about doing some sort of protest about something, and they were encouraging some people in the group to throw something at a building. It was something like that, to destroy some sort of building or throw something at a building. I don't know if you guys remember that broadcast. And, thinking those white people, and Mr. Fuller was talking about that and saying, well, the person who's going to get in trouble for that is going to be me. I'm a black person. You guys are white people. The only person that, that white people love encouraging non-white people to do destructive things or something that's going to get us in trouble, knowing that they have power. White power. It's not white privilege, it's white power. They do this in school all the time. They trick non-white children, non-white pupils in school or college or university, etc., to think that you can do non-constructive things like your white counterparts are doing in school. You can't misbehave in school like your white, like other white children are doing or other white college students are doing. You can't do that. They're going to get away with it. You, as a black person, you're a slave on this plantation, on this planet. You're a victim of racism, white supremacy. You're not going to be allowed to get away with the things that other white people are doing. So yeah, just had to just mention that.
thank you, Mr. Smoky Damages. I know this was our last clip here. This one with the white woman weekend. We did there's let's see, how long have we been on? Yeah, it's been on over 2 hours, which is constructive bit of time. Let me see. Yeah, we will. Yeah, because well, I believe we have covered a great bit of information, and I truly hope this information has been constructive and worthy to share this, send this to everywhere you can to victims to possibly get a greater understanding of the system of white supremacy. We will not hold anyone any longer. Well, let me just play our outro and we will be out of here. Before that though, if folks would like to share closing comment, closing remarks, please go ahead. I'm going to be reading over the chat. Thank you, Decoding Events. Let me ask this question before I forget again. And this is a question for everyone who's familiar with this character. Decoding Event says, you're onto something there. What non-white person was suspicious of Mr. Rogers? So if you are familiar with Mr. Rogers, you can feel free to answer the question. I was not. I didn't even know who he was until pretty recently. I didn't watch whatever channel he was played on, but I wasn't suspicious of any white person until I became less confused. That's an excellent question. That should be Monday. Tosan Soma asked, when will the next book club meeting or Bring the Word Home be? Extremely informative. That should be Monday at 4 p.m. PST. That should be happening then.
My closing comment is, if what you've seen today is, as a non-white person, if you're looking at this, if what you've seen today is not encouragement for you to attempt to end this system of racism, white supremacy, unfortunately, the white supremacists might show you better than we can ever tell you.
Alrighty, I wasn't going to do this, but the book is just right in front of me, So it's calling for me to do this. I'm going to be reading from Nyan Sesam, A Calendar of Revolutionary Daily Thoughts by Mwalimu K. Barudi. And I am going to be reading from July 2nd, because today is July 2nd, 2022, according to Racist Man and Racist Woman. All right. So we have here, okay, this is a quote from Dick Gregory. Again, this is from July 2nd. And I guess this is how you say July 2nd and Swahili, Kitawansa. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that again. But anywho, July 2nd. The most difficult thing to get people to do is to accept the obvious. All right, off to a very good start, because racism is definitely obviously like here and dominating planet Earth, but people seem to want to ignore that. All right, continuing with Dick Gregory's quote. Western science has long recognized that individuals who find satisfaction or pleasure in repeatedly harming others, be they humans, animal, plants, or other things in the universe, have low self-esteem. With this is mind, we have to consider the fact that what normally or disproportionately applies to individuals in a group/nation applies to the conjunction with the society as a creation of the acili, which nourishes a particular personality. Therefore, we can safely conclude as African social scientists that European society has low self-esteem. Its history of ongoing wanton violence against others, especially defenseless others and those who simply want to live in their own space and peace, reveals this innate mental illness. European social scientists, in an effort to deflect blame from their faulty acili and project their abnormal traits onto all of humanity, attempt to attribute these culturally violent tendencies and their population and those socialized and their culture context to the groups they have victimized, disempowered, and defined as deviant, with a myriad of erroneous racist theories which make their schizophrenic thought and behavior appear as if it is not part and parcel of their unique acili's innate generative matter. Affirm I have moved beyond the analytical limits of the propaganda of a few bad apple laws. Now, I would just tell folks to, read Yurugu, check out our study on Yurugu. You can find our playlist, or check out the context of white supremacy study on Yurugu, that text, because I didn't know the Gregory had that much understanding of the Yurugu, but clearly he was he was not that confused about racism, white supremacy. That being said, let's play one more thing.
You are alive.
Actually, we do have something. I almost forgot. I downloaded this clip for a reason. So let's play. We do have one more thing to analyze. And then we'll be out of here. Shout out to Miss Constructive Action for bringing this.
What do you look like?
To our attention.
For fuck's sake. Every other.
Let me start it over.
What do you look like? For fuck's sake. Every other Anthony. Now, what do you look like? Under this skin? You're obsessed with skin. Skin is one of your gods. You've created cults around it. Commit genocide. Murder every day in its name. One reason I was chosen is because Justin would have no rational reason to trust me if I looked like you. Pull the fucking trigger. Fuck your psyop shit. You're gonna lose. Why? Because you're a step ahead of me and everyone. Yeah. You said. Wait, is this question 3? Yeah. You said I was terrified. Of what? You're terrified of question 5.
Dang. Wonder what question. Oh, I don't have any clue what's going on in context of the show, but if we replace that obsessed with skin to obsessed with the system of white supremacy, we will be right in the money, so to say. Because yeah, white people are definitely obsessed with the system of white supremacy, and one of the perhaps symptoms of that, or another focus, could be the color of people's skin. But yeah, very interesting. I think this show is called The Last Person on Earth. We may do a decoding of this one day. May be interesting. But yeah, what the black male says, he would not have. Why would he trust me if I look like you? That's someone is trying to sprinkle in something of constructive value, because yeah, if a person looks like a white person, it will give me 50 feet. Are you about to pull out an AR-15? I am at a grocery store, so I'm not safe here at all. Yeah, we should not trust white people at all, just as a safety protocol. Would any of their other hosts like to chime in on that final clip? All right, no worries. Yep. Maybe once upon a time they were fascinated and obsessed with their skin, but they have managed to channel that obsession to the system of white supremacy, and now they just compensate with their skin problems, or with their white condition, whatever they call it. I don't know. They're the ones who even started this whole judging everything by race and what it looks like, and so they put themselves in this and us in this really incorrect mess, but we are going to be the ones who have to get the ball rolling and solving this race problem. That being said, we're out of here. We're going to play 2 more items, and then thank you for your time and energy. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not already.
Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too.
You are alive.
No.